Greetings, I am Rob Chapman in my new dwelling. You are the first person, Alex,
am I?
to be filmed in this new studio. Because
As ever a pioneer.
Yeah, I'm a pioneer. You are a pioneer. You probably will never have heard of Barefaced. To be fair, I had not heard of Barefaced until Chapman Guitars was looking at renting a new premises, and then this geezer turned up and wanted to rent part of it too.
Yeah.
And we kind of got to know each other through that.
Yeah.
And it turned out that he made these interesting bass and guitar cabinets. Now, I'm going to preface this video by saying that Alex is very chatty, and I like it because it means I can kind of sit back and just prompt with tiny little areas and ideas, and you can just run because that's what you're good at. But before you do, what Alex doesn't know is that when he took his car back to his wife and then cycled back so that we could shoot this video, I plugged in to the small cabinet on the floor, and it was the best cab I've ever heard in my life.
Oh.
And I've heard a lot of cabs.
Right.
And I'm not interested in cabs. I find them irritating. I find them annoying. They are almost a necessary evil of the guitarist. I have played very expensive cabinets. I have played very affordable cabinets. And these are the best sounding cabinets I've ever played. And you know what the first thing was I noticed?
What?
It was loud.
Yes.
And I was sat here, and the cab is down there, as you can see, and it's tiny. But you can swear in this video, by the way, it's fine. I'll make an amusing noise. And I was like, damn, it's really loud and really bright. And then I walked over to turn the volume down, and the sound didn't change as I walked around it.
That's what it's about.
Why?
Why? Right. Every speaker has a front and a back, yeah? So you've got a speaker cone. And yeah, there's a magnet behind it, and there's some sort of struts, spokes, whatever you call them, holding the magnet onto the frame. But because a speaker has a front and a back, you can use the sound from the front and the back. So with any normal hi-fi speaker, the sound all comes from the front. In a ported hi-fi speaker, they then use the sound from the back to generate more lows.
Yes.
Yeah? In an open back guitar cab, you get the sound from the front and the sound from the back. But at low frequencies, when the front is going forward, the back is kind of going in the opposite direction. So when it pushes, it creates pressure at the front, and it creates rarefaction, decompression at the back, which means the low frequencies cancel out. Sorry, this gets quite techy.
No, it's fine.
Right.
These guys, honestly, they will know. If you want to know anything about astrophysics, chefing, anything at all,
fine.
The people through this lens know absolutely everything.
Hello, fellow geeks. I'm with you. Right. In a closed back guitar cab, the sound from the back is contained. So you don't end up with the lows cancelling out. Right. Which is why closed back cabs sound chunkier, warmer, faster. Because that cancellation runs quite high up. You're not just talking to the deep lows, it's running right up into the low mid range.
Right.
Yeah. And that has other effects as well. But what we've done with this design, and this
which is patent pending, by the way.
Yeah, patent pending. So I need to try and explain to the patent people quite how clever this is, because it's very rare for new speaker technology that's actual acoustic, mechanical speaker stuff to happen. Patents happen in audio all the time, but speakers are a mature technology. Not a very good technology, but we haven't thought of anything better. They're hideously inefficient and stuff like that. I agree they are. They're tiresome. So
Stay on target, Alex.
Anyway, right. Sorry about this. Lots of editing.
It's fine. That is my job.
Yeah,
I have to contain you and your bare face. What
we have got. Shall I show them?
Yes.
This is the key thing. Right. Let's unveil this thing. There we go. Nice cover.
Can I also? I'm going to do a straight arm. I am quite strong, but I'm not that strong. It is a joke how light these are.
Yeah, helium-filled bass cabs.
We've got a tuba 12. We've got a tuba 12 over there as well. That tuba 12 felt like the weight of holding a speaker or two speakers.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So the secret is in this bit.
The enclosure of that 212 weighs about the same as one of the speakers in
This is my little finger, Alex.
Hey, yeah, that's convenient, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing at the back, what's happening here is at low frequencies, this is acting like a speaker port, like a reflex port. So it's flipping the phase of the sound coming out of the back. so that the lows work in combination. That's not a new thing in guitar cabs. I mean, you can buy a Misabugi ported cab. Various other people make ported cabs. I think Randall, the Dimebag cabs, were ported for more chunkiness. But the clever thing here is, although at low frequencies this acts as a port, as a Helmholtz resonator, that's the technical term.
Helmholtz resonator.
Yeah, you get those in your car exhaust as well, trying to cancel out, low frequency resonances. At mid-range and treble frequencies, this acts as a diffraction slot, right? Now, I remember in school physics, I would remember this because I liked physics, if you shine a light through a very narrow slot, the light splits and goes sideways. Yes. That's diffraction.
Unless you observe it, and then it becomes individual particles.
Yes. Yeah. But anyway, these individual particles of air that are bouncing around, they pass through here, they get diffracted by the slot.
Yes.
And they move laterally.
Right.
And you'll see things like this in compression drives in hi-fi speakers.
So it plays sideways.
So it goes sideways.
Right.
Because we want the sound to go out to the sides. Because once it goes out to the sounds the sides, and the back and everything behind you, the room boundaries, the walls that you're in most of the time, even if you're playing on a festival stage, there's usually stuff behind you somewhere.
Yeah.
Those reflections come back and you hear them. And this is the key thing, is that when you hear the sound of a guitar cab in a room, you're not just hearing the sound that's coming straight on the shortest possible route from the speaker to your ears.
Of course.
You're hearing everything that's bouncing off the walls. Yeah. So we're taking all the mids and highs that are coming off this and spreading them out. And also, because this slot is then coupled to a waveguide, a horn, this is giving you extra gain in those frequencies. So you're coupling more efficiently to the room.
Right. So I noticed a number of things. The first one was the volume increase.
Yeah.
It felt like it was louder. The second one was that there's this thing I have to do with amplifiers normally. The one I'm using is the RD1 from Victory, which is my little signature amplifier, because it's the one I'm the most familiar with.
Yeah.
And I normally have to get it up to like a biting point of volume.
Yeah.
And at that point, the cab kind of comes to life and the low end comes out. If you bring it below that, it can sound a little bit boxy because it's not quite activating the speaker, the enclosure, whatever. Yeah. But with that cab, didn't matter where the volume was, it felt like it was activated and ready to go. So I could play quieter and it had the low end and it had that vibe.
Ah, that's very interesting.
So, it must be to do with the way that it's reacting to...
Well, there's a certain amount... There's a lot of non-linearity in a guitar speaker. So they're designed to be non-linear. So as you put more signal into it and they get louder, you get more harmonic distortion due to asymmetry in the movement and inconsistency in the movement. And that's part of guitar tone.
Yes.
But I do wonder if what you're hearing is that a speaker in a typical box is in a box.
Yes,
and
it
in
is.
a box, you're going to have all these reflections and standing waves, which will cause cancellations, so you'll get addition, subtraction. But one of the other upsides of what we call the AVD, the augmented vent diffractor on the back, is that you've no longer got a cuboid-shaped enclosure.
It's
the enclosure,
omnidirectionally...
It's putting sound out the back, and that's basically giving you about 3 dB more output, which is like having twice as much power.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
so
like
it is very much louder.
Yeah, you're getting quite a useful amount more. But also, because the AVD in here is like that shape, the reflections that are coming off the back, because there will always be some, are all happening at different wavelengths.
Sure.
So when they meet, they'll comb filter at different frequencies. Yeah.
This is so interesting. And I have to say, like I said at the beginning, and I hope I didn't offend you by saying, I don't find speaker cabinets interesting. I've never gone, oh, I can't wait to buy a speaker cabinet. It's always been, oh, I can't wait to buy a guitar, or I need the new pedal that will make me a better player because gear makes you a better player.
Well, I think,
but it's the first time I've gone, I really want a cab.
Aha.
Because as soon as I started playing, I went outside and I phoned Lee Anderton and I said, I don't think he sells through retailers yet, but if he does, you need to buy some. And he said, okay, please have him email me.
Right.
So I'm impressed and I'm excited about a cabinet. I don't know how many of you people ever get excited about guitar cabs. It is kind of the missing link in the whole tone chain. And in my kitchen, when I was trying to find a tea bag, and I haven't got one because I just moved house, I was sort of saying to you, or you were saying to me, sorry, that you feel that guitar players spend so much money on guitars and effects and amplifiers, and then they have a speaker in a box.
Yeah.
It's really true.
There's a long heritage of it. I mean, I do feel like if you analogize it to the car industry, it's like everyone's driving the guitars, everything's progressed. Guitars are really good nowadays. It's amazing what you can get for your money with a guitar. When you compare it to what you would have to pay for a Fender in the 50s or a Gibson it's that's progressed a lot. But the speakers are still a speaker in a box.
Sure.
That technology hasn't moved. And it's like we're all still driving around in Morgans for our day-to-day transport.
Right.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
But do you want to use them all the time? Would you not rather have something that actually takes your tone?
Yeah.
That's coming from the guitar, from the pedals, from you, from how you play.
Sure.
And then gets that sound of the speaker. So this has got a vintage 30 in it. It's a classic sounding speaker, but then helps that speaker fill the room with sound.
Yeah.
So that you hear it, your band hears it, you all play better, the audience hears you better, and the music happens better.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been my obsession with speakers, that realisation that if you make the tone happen better in the real world of gigs where you don't have a team sorting out your monitor mix and your front of house mix, and because this is the land I live in as a musician, of crappy pubs where you've got hardly any time to sound check, and if you can make a cab that works brilliantly in that context, you've solved it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You have solved it because you're mates with Tim Comerford from Audio Slave and Rage and everything else great, and he uses your bass cabinets.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting, I notice in this industry more people who start working on bass gear, the physics is so vast on bass gear, so big, so much tension, torsion, so much output, that you learn the physics quickly, and then when you apply it to the guitar, it's not that it's easier, but you've learnt the lessons quicker. I see this in factories manufacturing bass guitars, then moving to, for example, a guitar neck, and then doing a great job on a guitar neck, when normally guitar manufacturing companies don't look at the physics involved.
There's a lot of tension on a bass neck.
It's like a longbow.
Yeah.
I've just also realised, well, not also, but I realised before you turned up, miking it close like this isn't going to show it off. Now, what I think we should do, and correct me if you think there's a better way of doing this, I think I should play while I reduce the gain on this, and you walk around with that a little bit in the room, so that the viewers get an idea of what it's like being in the room with just this road, picking up the sound from a couple. You can sort of stand here and then walk over there and stand there, and we'll have that backed off to get some air, and then I'll plug into a standard 2x12 cabinet by Victory, and they'll hear the difference between the two.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way of doing it. Do you agree?
That makes sense to me. This has been a puzzle we've been trying to work out at Barefaced
because
for a while.
close mic, it's going to get you the sound of a speaker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the speaker will be unsullied by the internal reflections as much. So
The
you've got
unsullied.
small advantage there. But it's not going to blow you away.
So enough chat.
Yeah.
Although I am enjoying the chat, and I'm sorry I didn't have a tea bag, so we couldn't sit here with a tea and talk more. We're going to grab microphones. Your job is to grab this road and just get a few different places, and I'll play guitar with the cheapest guitar I make, which is also one of my favourites, and for the first time on YouTube, my brand new Pauletti, which I'm in love with this guitar so bad. They made it in honour of my band Clockwork Wolf Company, and the EP that did really well.
It's laser etched.
Yeah, I know, it's really cool. Huh? Literally on a laser printer. It goes.
There's a guy near us in the centre of Brighton who's been talking about having a go on our cab.
That's so cool.
But I can't work out how to fit a cab through a laser etching machine.
Yeah, that might be a slight issue.
Yeah, so it turns into a bit of a juggling act.
Cleaner tones with this, dirty, chewy tones with this, and we'll see how it goes.
Ooh.
guitar. Exactly the same guitar setting, no difference at the amp. We're just using a 2x12 Victory cabinet, and Alex is going to move around so that you hear the difference, okay? It's unbelievably quieter. I can't believe how much quieter it is. I'm not trying to diss Victory, whom I love with my life, you know this, but it is so much quieter. We did the test.
Yeah.
You didn't know we were going to do that.
No.
Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have turned up. You got what? Walk around with a microphone while you shred. It was really telling. The most telling thing was that when we plugged into the Victory 2x12, love Victory, it was a lot quieter. And
yeah.
It was also darker where I'm sat. So the brightness wasn't reaching me to the side.
Right, that's interesting, because where I was standing, it was kind of brighter and thinner.
Right,
because
of
I
course.
was like right in front of the line of fire.
It's a directional apparatus. That's what they are, line of fire. Anyone that's ever been to a loud little venue gig where you got a guy with a 412, you know it's a cone of fire, you want to get out of the way or be deafened, and if you stand at the side, you don't really hear enough guitar. There's that, you've got to try and find the sweet spot, and it's irritating. Can I say well done?
Thank you. And
congratulations on creating something that is really good. Can I also ask you if I can buy one from you?
Yes.
Thank you. That would be really cool. We don't have enough time to play the 212, the twin, which is a shame, but I'm assured in my own self that this is going to be almost twice as epic as that 112. And this is a 110? Yes, a 110. Right. Yeah. Is there anything else in parting you would like to tell the ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Where can they find these?
They can find these at barefacedaudio.com. They are something special. We believe we've invented the way guitar cabs should have always been.
Right.
And this is something that's patent pending. We would love to get this patent approved. We should do. There's good reasons for it on the technical front, and we would love to be able to license this to other manufacturers, because I think that, because at the end of the day, these Barefaced cabs, they are handmade in Britain. They're boutique.
Yeah.
They're never going to be cheap.
Yeah.
They can't be because of the way we make them.
Sure.
But there's no reason you can't put this AVD technology in a more affordable cabinet.
Right.
And then it would, because I would just like, wouldn't it be great if all gigs sounded better, if all rehearsals sounded better? Because the killer you know that when you've played a great gig, you can guarantee that that was a gig where everyone could hear themselves pretty well.
Yes.
And it's the bad gigs where you can't hear each other properly.
Yes.
And,
oh my God,
the
that's
music
so true.
happens so much better.
Yeah.
Because we're not making hi-fi systems. This isn't about listening at home and going, oh, the music sounds a bit better, than on the old system. Because you just generally, I get into music, whatever I'm listening to it through. But when you're playing music in a band, when you're playing a gig, or you're having a rehearsal, you're a recording session, and you're having that moment together, if everyone is hearing the sound as it's meant to be, kind of finished, you get into it so much more. You play better, you get more emotionally involved, and that's really what it's about.
You know what? I recently, well, not recently, like a year ago, bought one of those Bose Revolve individual speaker Bluetooth units.
Right.
And something that struck me was, why don't little guitar amp manufacturers like Boss or like Yamaha produce one like this that you can put, and it doesn't matter where you turn it, you always have the sound. And in a way, you've done that.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's going to stop you. You've got a mechanical engineering background, you're ex-military, so you've got the energy and the power and the knowledge and the know-how. And I think you're going to do really, really well. Obviously, you are doing really, really well with bass cabs, and this is kind of a new thing. And,
it's convincing the world of guitar that a company that started out as a bass company and led by a bass player, though I have to say I'm massively outnumbered by guitarists at work. I mean, which is good because it means I don't have to play guitar, because I play guitar like a bassist who's pretending to play guitar.
Well, you know what? A lot of great bassists played bass like a guitar, and they did really, really, really well.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
I'm not. Well, I'm the best bass player at playing bass like me there is.
That's true.
I have a very distinct style, and you probably wouldn't want me in your band unless you want your band to get changed.
And I am the worst bassist you will ever meet, who has one of the best bassists in a band I'm in. Thank you for watching this video all about Barefaced cabinet enclosure speaker cab boxes.
Yeah.
And I urge you to go check out his website, which is
barefacedaudio.com.
Barefacedaudio.com. I can't go lower than that.
.com.
It becomes a fry. Bye.
Cheers.
That was good. That was really good. How much for that one then?